if you're not consistently filling your cup, one of two things is going to happen. One, obviously, you're going to get burnt out. But the other one is you're going to end up over-indulging.
Doing that once, I just want to make this clear. Doing that once is not actually that difficult. It is. But doing that consistently is like, it feels impossible.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was number 1039, How is my self-talk affecting my self-worth? Today, for episode number 1040, another reason why you need to consistently fill your cup. My goal was actually not to tell this story that I'm going to tell today, but there has been a change in plans or a turn of events. So I woke up today and I had an interview at 9. So I think I got up at 7 and I came into the office and I started working. I had my coffee and I got on my interview at 9. And Alan, you ever done an interview early in the morning and realize you're still kind of half asleep?
Oh, yeah.
Has that ever happened to you, or a coaching call?
Definitely.
I had that. It was one of those, and it was an interesting interview where there was no video. So it was in Zoom, but it was just audio. So I was just looking at a picture of somebody, which is very challenging when you're trying to pay attention to what they're asking you. So I was just like drifting off, and that was a challenge for me. But I was thinking after, I was like, well, number one, I'm planning on changing my calendar so I start at 10. I know you and I had talked about that. And my 9 a.m.s for me are a struggle. I'm not all there yet. I need to get time to warm up throughout the day. But my other thought was, okay, if I look back on my calendar for the last 3 weeks, the last 4 weeks, my schedule, my effort has probably at least doubled over the last month, I would say. I went from maybe doing 4 podcasts a week, getting on 4 other shows other than ours, to doing 15 plus ours. So going from doing
plus podcast growth, you as well.
Yeah, plus another one, and the diet, like dieting has been a whole thing as well.
Yeah.
So I reflected and said, okay, why? And so let me just add to that. After that interview, I was working and I was like, I don't feel good. Like, I feel sick. My body's like sore. I was like dizzy at one point. I like fell into the wall. Not fell, but I bumped into the wall. I don't want people to think I'm losing it. And I started thinking, I don't understand, why am I so burnt out all of a sudden? It's Wednesday. This week hasn't been too crazy. I mean, yeah, it's been a couple of 14-hour days, I think. So, okay, that's something. But I looked back and I said, you know what? I don't know that my self-care and cup filling has been to the level of my productive output. I really think that's probably part of it, is I haven't been getting almost any R&R during the week, and I'm used to getting at least 2 hours a night. That hasn't been happening over the last month. When you finish at 8 o'clock, there's not 2 hours if you have to go to bed at 9. It's just like I eat and go to bed with Taryn. That's kind of it. So that was an interesting thing for me. And we had already had this episode planned where we were going to talk about this, but the point that we're talking about is if you're not consistently filling your cup, one of two things is going to happen. One, obviously, you're going to get burnt out. But the other one is you're going to end up over-indulging. So today I watched, I don't know, like 4 episodes of something that was a half hour long. Now, I didn't feel well, so that's part of it. But there was also part of me that was like, it was pinging of like, hey, you haven't filled your cup. Like, just watch another one. You haven't filled your cup. Just watch another one. That's what happens. It's one of those things where it's very hard to catch up. So similar to sleep, you can't really catch up on sleep. That's not how it works. When you don't get 8 hours, you can get 16 the next day, but it's not going to catch up the previous 8. If you miss your workouts and you try to do 7 workouts on Sunday, it's not really going to work that way. I think self-care and filling your cup is very, very similar. And one of the things we've talked about in the past, and we've talked about this pretty often, is I think the self-improvement entrepreneurship industry went from grind, burn yourself out, to make sure you're always having your cup filled and you're never stretching yourself. And I think the goal in this episode is to help you land somewhere in the middle of there. It's important to grind 100%. It's important to work. It's important to grow. It's important to stretch yourself, but it's also important to rest yourself. And you have to make sure that you're doing that, because if you're not, you're probably going to over rest yourself, and then momentum's going to get all Jeffrey'd up.
So Kev, you've heard me talk about this many times, and we did an episode on this a while ago, the maximization triad. So picture a triangle. We love triads. Picture a triangle. One bottom left-hand corner of the triangle is potential. The top part of the triangle is impact or contribution. And then the bottom right is quality of life. QOL, quality of life. And they're supposed to feed each other. So you're supposed to, in my opinion, and this is what I do with my clients. I actually was on a call earlier with a client, and we went through from 0 to 10 how well he was maximizing his own potential, unique potential, maximizing his greatest level of contribution, and maximizing his quality of life. I think he did 9 for potential, 2 for impact, contribution rather, and then I think only a 3 for quality of life. Usually though, and this is the point of this episode, usually individuals are out of balance with those 3. I certainly was as well, and I tend to be as well. It was Emilia who came up with that third one, quality of life, because she noticed that I was so focused on maximizing my potential and my greatest level of contribution that my quality of life kind of didn't matter. Kev, you tried to tell me that for years, obviously. But of course I needed to hear it from her and from you. And she said, well, if your quality of life improves, the quality of your work will improve, and then your impact will be better. And so on this episode, what I think we really want to try to make a case for, our thesis here is, are you improving the quality of your life and staying at a high quality of life while you are grinding and maximizing your contribution? Because growing, I think most people are overly focused on one of the 3. I think we all have one that we're really good at, one that we kind of suck at, and then one that we're decent at. For me, the one that I'm really good at, I think, is maximizing my own unique potential. The one that I'm decent at, I think, is maximizing contribution. And then the one that I'm really not good at is the quality of life one. And for a really long time, my quality of life, I mean, I drove a really crappy car, lived in crappy places. And now that I live in this beautiful condo with Emilia, I was telling her, it's unbelievable how much easier it is for me to do my most important work when we're in such a well-optimized, incredible home. We have beautiful plants everywhere, thanks to her, not to me, not because of me. But like, everything is set up for success. The quality of my life is so high right now. My gym is right down the street. My office is set up. This is literally her desk, Kev. I'm like using her desk. She bought this. Before, you saw my desk before. I think it was a piece of crap.
Taryn bought me this one.
Really?
Yeah, I had the same one for like.
Yeah, you and I have very low
I found
standards for our quality of life.
Facebook Marketplace. It was like a piece of crap.
Yours was?
Mm-hmm. My old one, yeah.
This desk is like so nice. It's so much better, right? And now I've got this 52-inch behind me where I do my work, and this new laptop. So quality of life matters. And the story that I wanted to tell for this one was similar to what Kevin just said. If you're not consistently filling your cup, if you are out there and you're so focused on quality of life, a lot of people are very focused on the quality of life one. Trust me, if that's you, you should probably focus more on the maximizing your potential or the contribution part, because at the end of the day, all 3 matter equally, in my opinion. But if you are neglecting that third one, the quality of life, you got to make sure that you're getting that. And that's why my days are broken into thirds. First third is for me, aka maximize my own unique potential. Second third is for service, which is what we're doing right now. Podcasting, speaking, coaching, training, consulting. And then the third is for fitness, food, and family. And we have on our Next Level 9, 30 minutes of filling your cup. And so every single day I try to make sure that I get at least 30 minutes of a show that I love, or eating food, or whatever it is. Usually it's watching a show or a movie. Usually that's the way I fill my cup. But I digress. Emilia went away last weekend. Her and Bianca had a leadership retreat mastermind, business mastermind, and they actually spent some time with family as well, Emilia's family, and it was at the lake. And I was here with Tucker for the whole weekend, and I think it was Saturday night, and last week was one of the heaviest work weeks I've ever had in my entire life, and I was pumped, and I told Emilia, I said, that was, I think, the most productive and effective week I've ever had in terms of the mission. But I am absolutely cooked. I don't know if it was Thursday or Friday, but one of my days was literally from 9 a.m. to like 9 o'clock at night. It was coaching calls. What'd you say?
I think it was Thursday because I think you had a speech Thursday night.
Right. And I woke up early that day. 7:30 was when I woke up. So, and I was preparing for the day, so it's not like I was hanging out from 7:30 to 9. So it was essentially 7:30 to 9 p.m. that I was on. And that's, and doing that once, I just want to make this clear, doing that once is not actually that difficult. It is. But doing that consistently is like, it feels impossible. And so kudos to you, Kev, for like lately with all the shows you're going on. I was telling Emilia just the other night, like, how grateful I am to have a business partner who's willing to grind. I'll share this briefly publicly. We were on the couch the other night, filling our cup, and we're eating food, and she says, "What's your favorite part about Kevin?" Yeah.
Right bicep?
Yeah. Yeah, it's his right bicep. And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, well, honestly, it's how, the first thing that comes to mind is how much he's been able to accomplish starting from a place of very little. If you know Kevin and I's background, neither one of us grew up wealthy or anything like that. So that's number one. But really what I ended up getting to is he just grinds. I said, babe, he grinds. I mean, he has 23 line items on his PPT and he never misses. I mean, I take it for granted. It's like, he went on 25 shows if you include 7 episodes of this podcast and an additional 8th one for Podcast Growth U, plus the 15 others. It's like, or 17 others rather. And I said, he just grinds. He really does. He grinds. And it's interesting because I don't think about that often, Kev, because in all honesty, I do consider, in some ways, I feel like I'm as hard of a worker or harder.
Oh, 100%.
And so I'm not always thinking like, oh, it's just become so normal. It's become so normal for you to grind. But I remember when you and I first met, I remember like, this dude works. This dude's got some work ethic in him.
I appreciate that.
Which is interesting because compared to now, it's very different.
I was playing Call of Duty at 11 a.m., man. The good old days. I miss it. Days. Some days I miss it. I'll be honest. Some days it's like, I'd really love to fire up the PlayStation right about now.
Of course. You had to hide it in the closet probably. But anyways, so Saturday night, Emilia's gone. I had a hell of a week. And Saturdays are for service. We work every Saturday. And I was just like, I think I hammered 3.5 episodes of House. House MD is one of my favorite shows if you've never seen it. And these are 45-minute episodes each. So I was just going. I mean, I was just eating food, and we're on a diet. I was eating food, and I was watching shows, and I was like, I think I'm going to do another one. And I did 3.5 of them, and eventually I shut it off. But that's a good 45 minutes times 3.5. You're looking at, that's like 3 hours, essentially. 3 hours straight of just me, Tucker, and food. And we've got this huge, I don't know if it's 80-inch. It's like my bedroom's like a movie theater. It's my favorite part of the house, honestly. And I was just loving life. And that was the reason why we did this episode, is because I didn't fill my cup well almost at all that week. And I was really struggling. And because I wasn't proactive at filling my cup, I ended up overdoing it on Friday and Saturday night. And obviously part of that was Emilia being away as well, because normally I wouldn't be able to do that because she goes to bed, she wants to go to bed early. Her number one goal is REM sleep, and she tracks it on her watch. But that's the point of this episode is, are you proactive at filling your cup? What does fill your cup, and are you proactively doing it? And if you're going to track your productivity, you should be tracking filling your cup as well, because if you don't consistently fill your cup, you're definitely going to burn out. And I don't think you'll burn out permanently, but it's going to be a constant up, and then crash. Up, and then crash. You don't have to crash all the way back down. You can crash a little bit. I think some is par for the course. Like some mini crashes are par for the course. That's just the rhythm, the biorhythm. But if you're proactive at filling your cup, this is the very last thing I'll say. I'll let Kevin talk, I promise. Kev, you've hit a new run rate of the way in which you perform. You need to match that with the same level of being as effective with R&R in order to actually make that sustainable.
Yeah.
It's like a professional athlete. If it's the playoffs and you've got 7-game series in the NBA or whatever it is, you have got to rest and recover just as disciplined as your practices and your games. And I think that's what you're finding. That's what we're both finding.
Bonnie here. I just wanted to share my experience with group coaching and some of the things that I got out of it. So going into group coaching, I was not tracking any habits at all. And I had sort of jumped on board habit tracking here and there, knowing it was a good idea, but not sort of ever succeeding with it. And so now some of them have become habits. I'm happy to say I wake up, I have a glass of water without even thinking about it anymore. So now I think it's probably time to gear up and increase my water intake or change the water one a little bit, something like that. And so I highly encourage people to jump into group coaching. There's so much information that you will get out of it. I recommend bringing a notebook to all of the sessions and taking lots of notes, asking lots of questions, and rewatching the videos, because it is the video coaching part is just packed with information. I also really recommend that you check in with your accountability buddy and sort of lift each other up throughout the experience, because there's lots of momentum, it's really exciting, and then it gets hard. And so stick with it and carry on, and your life will be better for it. Okay, take care.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I appreciate the compliments. Thank you for the kind words very much about the work ethic. I genuinely appreciate that. And I would mirror that. I don't know that there's many harder work. I mean, on the planet, I'm sure there's a good amount, but you definitely work harder than I do. And you work more hours than I do. So I have to put that out there. I will never say that anywhere else, that Alan isn't present. I will always take the crown when he's not around. But no, that's important. Self-awareness is important. I definitely work hard. I work long hours, but you definitely work harder and longer hours than I. So I want to make sure I give you that credit that you so much deserve.
Appreciate it, man.
Of course, brother. Of course. It's interesting because the weekends for me have been a real struggle. I'm definitely riding the wave of every day I'm giving it everything. It's and this is the other thing too. So I have 9 days and I still have 2 pounds to drop, 1.5 pounds probably, really. And I went from doing 5-minute rounds on the bag to doing 10 5-minute rounds. So I'm doing a 50-minute hardcore cardio workout. I did it at the end of last week, and I did it yesterday or Monday. And it is that is a whole new level of sapping your energy and your calories. So that's a whole nother thing too. The fitness aspect of it is very, very challenging. I'm very stretched because usually my comfort, one of my cup fillers is eating.
Oh yeah. That's got to be one of our top ones.
For sure.
Same. Yeah.
And it's not as fun when I have to track calories. Straight up. Sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It's the worst.
Yeah,
so
it does. Dieting sucks. It's necessary, but it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll never lie about that. But to Alan's point, you have to figure out where is the balance? Where is the optimized level? We'll say that because it's not 50-50. It's probably 80-20 for you. Maybe for you it's 75-25. Whatever it is for you. Whatever it is. I've realized that before I was getting 2 hours a night, and maybe I don't need 2 hours, right? 7 to 9 is pretty good for me, so maybe 2 hours is ideal. But I went from getting 2 hours to 2 hours a night to getting, some nights I didn't get any. Yeah. I got off the microphone,
That's not sustainable.
Not sustainable. And
I'm
I just went to bed.
guy sometimes, but I'm telling you, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It needs to be proactive. It has to be. If you don't get any cup filler, there's a part of you. I think there's a part of all of us. I call it my little kid. I watched Jurassic Park as well that weekend.
Yeah.
Did a lot of R&R that weekend. And it's like a 2-hour and 45-minute movie.
Yeah,
and
those
it's
are
a
long
fairly
ones.
silly movie, Jurassic Domination. Kev, this is my new understanding. There's a little kid in me that really loves food and movies and wants to watch dinosaur movies.
Yeah.
And I figured out why. We have a very intellectually stimulating career. And all day, every day, we're having deep conversations with deep people about goals, dreams, and life. Of course I'm going to want to watch a kid's movie and just shut off my brain and eat food.
Yeah.
It's a really nice break. And, you know, I think it's important. And in the past, I think I used to want to believe that I didn't need that. And I no longer agree that that is intelligent. I really think that everyone out there should be just as proactive with filling their cup as they are with their productivity. And usually you're really good at one or the other. I think the old Kev might have been really, really good at filling his cup, and now the new Kev is really, really good at productivity. And the pendulum swings back and forth. You got to figure out where your harmony is. Yeah.
There was a study, if you noticed me looking down, Alan, I was trying to find it.
Yeah.
But I saw something somewhere. I don't remember where it was. And there's a term for not wanting to go to bed at night because you don't feel like you have spent enough time on yourself. That's kind of the through line of what I remember. I don't know if it's like an actual study, if there's scientific proof behind it, but that's the way I feel after. It's almost like, I don't want to go to bed right now. I'm just going to go to bed and I'm going to wake up and do a 14-hour day tomorrow. Like I need something. I can't do that again. But I'm very happy, and I want to make this clear. I'm the happiest, the most fulfilled, the most on purpose I've ever been. When I get to the end of one of these challenging days, I am like just unreasonably proud of myself. Unreasonably proud of what I was able to accomplish. I texted Laura. Laura is in charge of booking me on shows, and she is the best, and she is absolutely crushing it. And she asked me last week, she said, do you want me to pump the brakes? And I said, no, I got this. I promise I got this. I'm going to be stretched, and it's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge in a good way. I promise I got this. And she messaged me yesterday and said, just a heads up, so far we have 20 shows for next week, just so you know. And I was like, hell yeah, I love that. I said, I'm so excited. I told Taryn that. I said, I'm on 20 other podcasts next week.
20,
that's not including
28 if you include ours.
That's not including
that's
our
world-class
8.
right there.
But I also realize that this weekend I have to make sure I fill my cup, because during the week it's going to kind of be non-existent. And Monday for me, you and I record from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m., and I'm usually up at 5 because that's the only time I'm not going to stay up after and go to the gym. I like getting the gym first thing out on a Monday especially. So that's a 15, 16-hour day to start the week. So it's very important. It's very important. We are always talking about holistic, and I want to make sure that you're healthy in your hustle, but I also want to make sure you're healthy in your rest, in your recovery. That's very, very, very important. And I think we've both been on the wrong side, or either side of the line, and just finding what the optimal side of the line is for you is the name of the game. It's about sustainability. It's about sustainability. The best diet in the world is the one that you can do. I always say that. It's the one that you can do and find the level of success that you want. I think it's the same for accomplishing your goals. It has to be sustainable or you'll burn out, but it also has to be sustainable in the point that it's actually working, bringing you closer to your goals.
I know we got to go here, Kev. But
Yeah,
I want to
definitely.
say one more thing.
Please.
Kev, you know how I'm doing. So the NLU Fit Pick Challenge started on March 1st, and it's been 140 days of 30 minutes of exercise per day for me. I have to literally force myself. Emilia and I the other night, I was like, do you want to go do hill sprints behind the gym? And it was like, wait, no. If we're going to work out every day, we have to make sure we don't overdo it, because otherwise it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable to exercise every day for 3 hours. It's not. That's not real unless you're a professional athlete, in which case you got to do it. But that's where my discipline actually has to come in. I actually have to say, okay, we were playing soccer last night. We wanted to keep playing. We had to cut it. We had to say, listen, it's 8:45 at night. We cannot stay out here until 9:30 and then get no sleep and then wake up tomorrow exhausted. So I'm with Kev 100%. The diet, the fitness plan, the career, the whatever system you implement is the best system is the one you'll actually sustain. 100%. Consistency needs to be what you optimize for, and it's not sustainable to burn yourself out every single day.
Next Level Nation, as you know, we had a live event, I believe it was March 27th in Worcester, Mass. And a lot of you are either outside of the country and you couldn't come in because of COVID, or maybe you just don't live close enough where you could afford to get there. Maybe it didn't make sense. Maybe you had other obligations. So what we did is we took that entire day, my speech, Alan's speech, Dr. Taryn McCarthy's speech, and Tori Aletto's speech, as well as the Q&A that the audience asked us a bunch of awesome questions. We took all of that and we packaged that into an online course. It is on our website now, and it is unreasonably valuable. It's plenty of content. We have it broken up where when the person is speaking, you can see their PowerPoint presentation. It's very, very, very well done, and we would love for you to give it a look-see if you were the person or one of the people who wanted to come and couldn't make it because of whatever the circumstances may have been. Link will be in the show notes, or it's nextleveluniverse.com. Click the courses tab. It should be the second one.
And it is a lot cheaper than you think.
Yes.
Would you change your own life for $47? That course will change your life. You know, it really will. And it's only $47. So for the value to price is wildly good for you. Okay.
Can I just add something real quick, Alan?
Please.
I say this all the time when people ask me about the business on other podcasts. I say many people start their business to make money. We started our business with the goal of impacting as many people as possible. And I said, the reason we do 7 episodes a week is not necessarily because we want to do 7 episodes a week. It's because we want to be in the community's pocket every single day, and every single day is 7 days a week. If somebody comes up with an 8th day, Alan and I are going to have to do another episode because we're going to be there every single day. So maybe you're in a position where you're thinking to yourself, the podcast is very valuable and I love it, but I want something different. I want to dig a little bit deeper. That's the next layer because it's cheaper than group coaching, it's cheaper than one-on-one coaching, and it's something that you can have forever too. So that's the important thought is no matter where you are in your self-improvement journey, there is a spot for you at NLU. No matter where you are in your financial journey, there is a spot for you as well. So maybe that is where you feel is the best next step for you.
And Kevin's the CFO of this business, so literally correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say hypothetically you downloaded the course and you absolutely somehow hated it and you were like, oh my God, this is the worst course ever. I want my money back. Email Kevin and I.
Yeah, for sure.
We would refund your money. You're not going to feel that way. You're going to be grateful that you downloaded it. It's literally $47. Yeah. Okay. So I want to go through this list real quick because I'm so proud of all the graduates of group coaching. So the first group was called Ambitious Army. The second group was called Gratitude with Attitude. Then we had Tribe of Abundance. Then we had Pursuit of Excellence. Then we had Legacy by Design. And then group 6 was called G6. And yes, we did open the first session listening to that song like a G6. Mm-hmm. And then group 7 just named themselves the Aspiration Nation.
It's a nice one.
Which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Group 8 is on the website and it is open. We currently have 21 people who were not able to get into Group 7 who wanted us to message them for Group 8. We are currently sending out those messages. If you have been wondering about group coaching and you want in, Group 8 starts on October 4th. Click the link in the show notes. It'll bring you to the website. All the information you need is there. If you are questioning whether or not this is a good fit for you, reach out to Kevin or myself. We can send you the Instagram handles of people who have experienced group coaching, and they can answer any questions that you have. We've got a workbook, bi-weekly sessions. There's office hours with an assistant coach. His name's Greg. It's really a well-polished product at this point. And there's a private WhatsApp group. The Aspiration Nation right now is absolutely on fire. So if you want more accountability, you want more community, you want to achieve your goals with like-minded people, group coaching is the way. October 4th is when it starts. So get in as soon as possible because we're only taking 10 spots per quarter.
And big shout out to the NLU team also. If you're hearing all the things that are going on behind the scenes, that is because we have a truly, truly wonderful team who is on this mission with us. They are super supportive, and we could not do that without them. So most of them listen to the podcast. I want to make sure that they get a little bit of love on this episode. All right, we're going to go now. Next Level Nation tomorrow for episode number 1041, Where Your Fear of Money Comes From. Cha-ching, cha-ching. We will talk about money because here we talk about health, wealth, life, and love. I know we talked about love earlier in the week. We're going to talk about a little bit of wealth. Today was kind of self-love, I would say. Life,
Oh, yeah.
love. Yeah. So we try to hit all of them. We're trying to be more conscious of what we're actually talking about in terms of the genre. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.